Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing I guess like a mukbang or whatever you guys call it. I'm not exactly sure what the name is, but we are going to be sitting down and talking about the dental school tea, like the tea on dental school you don't know before you get into dental school. And guess what? I have some of my friends from, you guessed it, dental school, and I'll just have you guys, tell them your name and where you're from and whatever.
Cool.
Peyton, you can go first.
Yeah, so my name is Peyton. Like Kristen said, I'm one of her classmates, D4 as well. Went to TCU for undergrad. It's kind of funny, like the group that she picked happened to all be people from TCU. So but yeah, so been at dental school here in Dallas for almost 3.5 years now, and it's coming to an end. So it's crazy how fast fast times fly by.
Thank God.
Thank God. Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm also D4 with these lovely people. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm at TCU in Fort Worth with these two lovely people. And then I was a neuroscience major at TCU. Some people always think you can only do biology. You can do other things. And yeah, half a semester left, I guess, and then we're done. So
Thank God.
Hi everyone, my name's Alex. I also went to TCU, but I'm actually from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a new mom, so I have sort of a non-traditional route when it comes to dental school. So yeah.
Baby's right there.
Yeah.
You can't see him, but he's here.
We might get some sound effects.
Yes.
I know. Right. And today we're eating La Ventana tacos. If you're from Dallas, I don't know where else it is, but just tacos, really. So that's what's going on today. That's literally all we eat in Texas. This and barbecue. All right. So let's start. I'm gonna start by asking you guys a question. So what year do you think was the hardest of all 4 years? I mean, we haven't finished D4, but we've gotten a good idea of what it's like. So
it's not D4. So.
no. I think D4 is not the hardest.
No.
I'll start. Mine's like not really a traditional answer, but I think D3 was one of the hardest for me. Not only because of COVID, like we entered the clinic in COVID, so we didn't really get a traditional sense of like getting into the clinic and all of that. But also that's when you're like entering something so new, you're in clinic, having to use all these skills. And on top of that, you're still in a considerable amount of classes. And so you're expected to be keeping up the good grades. That's when a lot of people decide whether or not they're specializing. And I decided to specialize in pediatric dentistry. So I knew that my grades had to be like up there, but like all I wanted to do was go to clinic and focus on that. But then I had to go home and study for all these classes on top of that. I was just so sick of it. And so for me, D3 was really hard to like just try to balance all of that while learning that there's something totally new, totally different that I wanted to immerse myself in, but like kind of also had to focus on these classes too.
You think D3 too?
Yeah, I thought D3 was tough. I don't know. I feel like TCU did a really good job of preparing us for like dental school and like the course load and all the classes. So personally, I felt like the classes weren't as hard as they were in undergrad. There was just more of them. So to me, like, yes, D1 was hard and like there was a lot of class and a lot of tests, but like it was doable, and you could like study. Whereas like when you're working on patients, seeing patients for the first time, like no matter how many times you do it on plastic teeth, like it's not the same.
No.
So I feel like that was like the toughest part for me, and like personally, I don't like looking like I don't know what I'm doing, and like I feel like that's kind of like D3. Obviously, you kind of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's such a tough like thing to do because it's like you want to like learn and want to ask your partner questions, but then if you ask your partner questions, the patient's like, wait, do they not know how to do this? Like, what's going on? So I think D3 for me would also be what I would say.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear both of y'all say that it was third year because I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And third year was the year that I was pregnant, and I wasn't trying to tell anybody I was pregnant when I first found out. I didn't believe it. I was so shocked. Wow, really? Okay.
Who did that?
Right. How did this happen? So like the dealing with morning sickness, like literally every single day, and it's not just the morning; it's literally all day that you feel like you're about to throw up or something like that. You're trying to keep it together while managing patients at the same time. It's just hard, the balance of academics and then patients. You get home, by the time you're done, you just want to crash, but you have to study for exams. So it was hard for sure.
The other thing too is like last year wasn't like a normal year. Like morning sickness, like being with patients like is hard enough, but morning sickness plus N95,
right.
no mask, face shield.
Yes, all the layers.
God.
See, like, I'm the only one. I say D1 was hard.
Yeah.
Only because, like, taking exams, I hate it, and I'm not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to an extent. I more so hate it than not being good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I felt like even with some certain classes, it's like no matter how hard I studied or whatever, I still, like, could not get it all the way. But I knew that once I got to clinic, I was like, this is my time to shine. Like, I will kill it. And I feel like not like I have figured clinic out and figured out dentistry, but I'm so much more a hands-on learner. And so it's like, I think I've, like, in terms of, if I could give myself a grade for clinic versus like D1, D2, clinic, I'm doing way better. So much easier. I love D3 and I'm loving D4. I mean, D4 is a lot more stressful, but
I will say, to a D1, I think I look back on it with rose-colored glasses. Oh, hi. I look back on D1 with rose-colored glasses because I think about like all like the outings we had and all the friends we had. Because that was our only year we didn't have affected by COVID in some aspect. And so I think I look back like that was just so fun. We had no cares in the world. But like if I had to do a year over, D1 would be the last year I'd redo.
I would never want to do that.
I would not do D1 over. So maybe D1 was the hardest, but I think in retrospect I'm just like, but it was so fun on Friday nights. Like no,
go out a lot.
we went out a lot D1 year, which is fun because you had to work hard. You had to play hard, like make up for the work hard. But yeah, I think D1 also is just tough because like you're studying so much and like especially D1 second semester because D1 first semester you're like I did it, I made it through all those classes and then you have a whole another semester of the same thing and you're like wait, I already proved myself, like aren't I good? And it was just tough. So I think I don't give D1 the credit of being as hard as it was when I should.
So, what do you guys think that what do you guys wish that you would have been warned about then? So, like, that you didn't expect? Is there anything?
I would say my thing is less about dental school, but more about incorporating your life outside of dental school into dental school. Because I'm really bad at saying no to things, like social-wise, like getting involved-wise. But, like, you also have so much dental school to do, so you have to learn how to balance outside life because that's going to keep going on without you. So you have to learn how to say no to certain things without saying no to everything that makes you you and saying no to those relationships outside of dental school. So for me, the hardest part of dental school was learning how to balance socializing and like all your relationships outside of school with dental school. And like for me, I was like, I can study, I can do whatever I want in dental school, it's fine, like I can like get it done. But then I was like, oh wait, I still have all these people to keep up with outside of dental school, all these things I want to do. So learning how to prioritize my socializing because I can't do everything was really hard for me. I wish people would have warned me more about time management in that aspect.
I will say, I feel like from an outside perspective, it still feels like Courtney does do everything.
Right, for real.
Like, I feel like every time she's just like, I gotta do this and this and this and this, and then, but then she's like, chill.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. For those who don't know, Courtney's our class president, and she has been since D1.
Yeah.
And like Superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, like I'm sure it's not perfect, and you know you have your days, but like you are killing it.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all.
And we
It took a lot of
appreciate
time to get to this point. But a lot of saying no to things and learning how to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think of an answer to your question.
What was the question again? That was a good point, though.
Right.
What do you wish you would have been warned about?
Is there any
Or something you didn't expect.
questions about choosing what school? I don't want to like answer another question.
No.
Okay. So I feel like a lot of schools really pride themselves on having all the specialties at the school. That's actually not a good thing, in my opinion. Some people might say it is, but personally I don't feel like it is because anytime there's a case that's like halfway hard, they'll just be like, oh, just refer it. So I have like a couple friends that go to different schools that don't have any specialties at them, and pretty much, you know, they get to do a lot of stuff. Like I know students that have placed implants in school, like got to do a lot more endo, like that kind of stuff. And I feel like at the end of the day, like schools that don't have residencies almost are better for clinic experience than ones that do have all of them. I don't know if you guys have.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I hadn't even thought about that, but that's true.
Yeah, because I mean, schools always are like, oh my gosh, like we have all the specialties, like you're exposed to everything. Like, have I ever seen any ortho at our school?
No.
And that's probably my favorite specialty if I was to choose one. So for me, it's kind of like, wow, like maybe I would have been able to do something about that at a different school or you know whatever. But yeah, I feel like for me, that's one of the biggest things I've noticed is just because no one tells you that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's not something I would have even thought about
No.
as
Yeah.
a pre-dental student.
yeah, for sure.
That's a really good answer.
Mine is pretty simple. And it's very simple-minded and straightforward. I wish I had been warned about like how much time I'd spend standing, running around, and my back.
Oh my gosh.
Like the
Yes.
importance of being active.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
And the importance of being active and taking care of yourself for the sake, not just for like, you know, look good or whatever, but also just like for the sake of like you, like as a person, your well-being. And like if I mean, granted, I don't want to be practicing until I'm 60 or even 50. Honestly, 40, 45, I'm trying to like be chilling. But at the same time, like if I want to be practicing for the next 20 years of my life, like
If you want to be human after when you retire at 40 or 45, you still got to have a good back, and you don't take that away.
I gotta take care of myself, and so it's like this week, for example, I had a ton of lab work, and it was just like a ton of running to this professor, to this professor, this professor, and I was just so tired, and my feet were killing me. I need to get better shoes. I wish somebody told me about that too. Invest in good clinic shoes. Like, it's a little thing like that I wish that I had known before starting clinic, mainly.
Yeah, getting into a good workout schedule, I feel like D1 year is an awesome thing, because like I didn't. I still struggle with like figuring out time to work out and like making it a priority. And so I feel like getting into like good that's useless. Getting into good habits are good.
Has that queso been there the whole time?
Yes, it has. And then a guac too.
Ooh.
Wait, oh. That's what those are.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm flipping it
A little spice. The fact
I
that
don't talk right now.
No, the queso.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
again. Wait, Alex, did you ever come up with anything?
Oh, okay. So what's something that I wish someone had told me?
Right?
I can pour it for you. And just
That'd be great.
That I will say this, that you can't necessarily rely on getting the most out of your clinical experience more than yourself. Oftentimes, this is something I realized last year, is that like I feel like I was just kind of going through the motions and waiting for people to tell me, oh, you need to do this or that, especially if you want more exposure to certain things. You have to kind of look out for yourself if you want to make the most of your experience there. And then taking advantage, like really taking advantage of the resources that are there, like, and the people, and kind of picking their brain about how to do certain things. And there's definitely not one way to do things, even though your group leader, your instructor might say, oh, you need to do it this way, you need to prep, or you need to restore the tooth this way. There are so many different ways to do it, and you really have to do it the way that works best for you. It really just matters that you get to the end result, not necessarily how you get there.
I'd say even not even clinic, but even preclinical, like in sim lab and stuff, and like when you're starting to work, it's like kind of like what you put into your own hands, like how much you go practice after hours, like you go into other professors, like ask for tips if like the person you're working with isn't like giving you stuff that works for you, because each person has different tips and each different things work for different people. So it's kind of on you to, if something's not working for you, to figure it out with other professors and add kind of what they recommend and stuff like that. So that's a good tip.
And then also, there's not one way to do something right, if that makes sense. Especially, like I've seen that mostly like in removable. I've had a lot of issues with removable the last week, but like everybody has different ways to doing the same thing, and it doesn't make either one of them necessarily wrong. It's just a different approach. And I mean, having professors from different backgrounds helps with that a lot. Having a professor who's been doing this for 50 years opposed to somebody who's doing it for 5 years makes a huge difference. And I tend to like how the 50-year-olds. Like, give it to me straight. Let's make this, easy. Don't give me all the extra steps. Yeah,
it's like just focus on like what you actually need, not like the foo-foo steps.
Like,
it's like
you only need to use a 330 burr. Only. Okay, sir.
Ooh.
You say so.
That's a concept.
This box isn't going to get anywhere with this 330.
Yeah, I think that's definitely good. I think honestly, my favorite one of all those was just like it comes down to you. Like that's the biggest thing. Whether it's class, clinic, whatever it might be, because there's gonna be a lot of days where like stuff doesn't go your way, and it's like you just gotta like make the most of it. Whether it's like going down to the oral surgery clinic to maybe see if they need any help, or like talking to your scheduler, or scheduling patients, like seeing if someone can come in that day, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because stuff happens, and you just gotta figure out how to deal with it.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One last thing that I wish someone would have warned me about is like, I guess the politics of dental school, which like sounds like me saying because I'm class president or whatever, but no, day to day, like working with professors, you gotta learn when just to like shut up, smile, and just get through it so you can get that signature, you know? Like learning how to like not only like work with patients but work with professors.
It's so good.
But like learning how to kind of just like navigate your way, like when to speak up and when to just like put your head down, get through it. It's only 4 years, you gotta get through it. So, and like learning how to like, I mean, all these people that you're graduating with are going to be your colleagues. You gotta have a good relationship with just about all of them. And so, like these people that you're going to be referring to, you're going to get referrals from that are going to be in your same profession. Dentistry is super small, so you can't burn bridges in here. So you have to learn how to work with all
you need rec letters.
Yeah, you need
all that.
all of it. So you need to learn how to work with all sorts of different kinds of people, not just patient wise, but like your classmates wise too.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a really key point, Courtney, is not burning bridges. Even though they get on your nerves, you kind of have to just bite the bullet, sort of put your head down and just say, well, it's okay. Whatever I need to do to graduate.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's one of my strengths, honestly.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, okay.
I was telling my mom the other day, I was like, Mom, I've become so good at being fake. Like when I'm really pissed off. That's what
the mask helps too.
The mask.
They're like, can you? Is that okay? Can you handle that? I'm like, sure. I think it's also hard when the expectation is so high too. I think we were talking about faculty members earlier, and it especially last year, trying to come off of that when you didn't get as much like time and practices as you would like, and you're just a little rusty. It's not like you're terrible, but you just need a reminder, a refresher to get back into things, especially when they kind of like bombard you with a whole bunch of patients like, okay, you're doing this, this, and this, and I'm like, well, what is this? I think I had to replace an implant attachment, and I was like, does anybody know what I'm doing? I mean, it was a simple procedure, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing at all.
It's like, all right, so we're gonna take out the thing, or put something back in.
Yes. They don't give us much education on. I mean, we've had a lot of classes that talked about implants, but
so confusing. I don't know why it's so confusing. There's so many parts to it.
Until you actually like do it yourself, and then you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's so simple. Why couldn't they just say that?
Yeah.
Anyways, well, my favorite part is apart from the people also.
Yeah.
We're great.
I can understand how that'd be your favorite.
I was thinking about it, and I think I've spoken to my mom about it. I was like, Mom, it's crazy. Like, I'm gonna know so many like successful, like smart, amazing people because of who I've been surrounded by like the last 4 or 5 years of my life. Like,
That's so true.
It's insane. Like, I'm so fortunate because it's nice to be like around people that you can look up to and then who look up to you, vice versa. You guys have a mutual respect, and then you get each other, and you've been through hell of dental school together. Like, I mean, so apart from the people, I would say the patients.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of them. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, you always have like people that are just unreasonable and like who just don't respect your time, don't respect what you're doing, don't respect the fact that you're a student and you're learning. And then you have the godsend people who are just like so
Where did you come from?
Bring you coffee every time they come in,
or cookies or something.
Yes, and are asking about like how's school going? Did you take your boards yet? How did you do on your boards? Last time I checked, you were studying. Like, they're just, and like when to like be able to help a patient, like take them out of pain or like transform their smile in some, even if it's in the smallest way. Like it's the best feeling. That's how I knew. Like I was like, because I was interested in pediatric dentistry at one point, but that's like with the aesthetic part, like transforming someone's smile. I was like, that's how I knew that I was like, okay, cosmetic dentistry is what I really want to do because this is so much I will watch, and I have done this, watch Instagram lives for 2 hours just about cosmetic dentists talking about aesthetic dentistry. And I'm just like, teach me. Teach me all the wisdom. And so being able to do that for patients is awesome. I can't wait to like actually do it more on grander scales than just at Texas A&M College Dentistry.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you're saying, like, what you're saying with the patients, like, my favorite thing, like, and I obviously don't actually say this to patients, but in my head, I think, like, when someone's like, oh yeah, this is, like, taking a long time, I'm like, hell yeah, it is. And I told you it was going to take a long time.
You signed up for this.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, like, I mean, it's cheaper than normal. You're seeing students, like, it's a process, like, we gotta make sure stuff gets done right.
And we have to get checked for every single step. And it's not just us. It's like we have group leaders that have to oversee like a bunch of us. So
and it's on them. If we do something wrong that they don't catch, it's on them. So they have to take the time to make sure that everything we do is right, which is like why it's safe for people to come to dental schools and make sure that they get good care. But like they gotta take time to make sure that you're actually doing each step right instead of being like, I'm sure you're fine, because like what if it's not? So
Oh, hello. So special guest, David.
Hello,
David. Hey, Rose. You know what I just thought? Years from now, he'll look back on this video. You could show him this video and be like, when I was in dental school, look at you, you were there.
We went through it last year with D3, huh?
Right?
Yeah, we
Making
did.
mommy throw up all the time.
Yeah.
You did that? It's okay. You could do that.
He's gonna look back on it and be like, man, I was so immature back then.
For real.
Little silly goose.
So what's you guys' least favorite part about dental school? I can go first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mine would be the politics. You mentioned it earlier. The politics of dental school.
Gotta grab the popcorn.
Cheers to that.
Popcorn.
Cheers to
that.
You want yours?
Yeah. Everybody else is fine.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, sure.
So, this is not like, by the way, nothing we're saying is endorsed by Texas A&M College Dentistry, and these are our own opinions and not affiliated with the school.
No.
And also, we'll say nothing that we're saying is unique to college dentistry either. I feel
that
like
is
every
true.
dental school across the country has these same struggles.
Check
so
Reddit. You'll see it everywhere.
Yeah, so specifically with our school, we went through like a change from like it used to be called Baylor College of Dentistry, and now it's Texas A&M. So Texas A&M now runs it, and with that came a lot of changes, and not just to like our new clinic building, which we got, but also to the curriculum, to the people in charge, and it's just like I even more so being involved in like student government it's become very evident to me that like there's so much red tape and there's so much bureaucracy and all of it, and just so much like it's not simple. Like you're like, okay, but like the students need this, like, and the students are a priority, right?
Yeah.
Not all the time. It's a business at the end of the day. Like schools, they're not just schools, they're a business. Just like a dental practice at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's not just a healthcare facility, it's a business. And so the sooner you realize that, the better off. I mean, well, not the better off you'll be, but the more you'll come to terms with things. You'll be like,
easier to cope.
This is just the way it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, kind of on that same note, like, have you guys ever seen me have like any strong opinion on anything at school ever?
No.
That's just because like I don't like. To me, I feel like it's like not worth my time, and that might be kind of like cynical almost to an extent. Like, I'm definitely not a negative person by any stretch of the means, but I don't know. Like, to me, I'm like, I'm learning as much as I can. Like, I'm doing what I can. I don't know. I like, and, you know, obviously, like, you guys are involved, so you like do everything that you can. But I don't know. Like, for me, like, I just kind of like cruising through. Like, I know, like, we're trying to do the best we can here. Like, and kind of like it all comes back to you. You know, like what you're saying before. Like, just do as much as I can to, you know, further my education and that kind of thing.
Maximize your time there.
You can kind of look at it like as a diving board. Analogy to me, like all dental school is just a catapult to get you to where you want to be. Once you get in the water, it's up to you as to what you want to, like, your future and whatever. It's just the beginning. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was actually going to say the same thing. It's just like, this is just a chapter of your journey to becoming a great dentist or whatever kind of dentist you want to be. And so I can see where you're coming from, and that can't be bitter about it or like cynical.
We can be,
about
but
it. You
doesn't
can,
really matter.
but it's just like,
You shouldn't be, yeah.
But it's 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
Like you can't spend. I wouldn't want to spend 4 years of my life miserable like that. So you kind of have to have a positive perspective out of this. Like this is just a chapter of my life. And dentistry isn't everything in your life.
No.
Like it's certainly I'm passionate about it, but as soon as he came, it definitely changed. Like it, for sure, I love dentistry, but it's not the most important thing in my life.
Yeah, so it's just like like it's a good career. Like you can, help people out. You can make a good living for your family. Like it provides. I don't want to say it's a means to an end, but the same, it kind of is. Like it's like it's a good career. You can make a decent income. You can help people. Like and you can spend a lot of time with your family. Like there's very few careers these days that are like that you can do that, and dentistry is really one of them. So that's like what I've kind of come to terms with is just like it's very flexible. Like you can do well for yourself. Like it's awesome. Like honestly, if I would not want to do dental school again, but if I could go back and like start college again, would I go back and be a dentist again? I would. And I think like if I can say that, then I feel like I made the right decision.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I have no regrets on choosing dentistry at all whatsoever. I'm so excited about it.
And within dentistry too, something that I love about it is you can really customize your own practice to be what you want it to be. Like even within general dentistry, you can do cosmetic dentistry, you can do bread and butter, you can like do a lot of endo or implants if you're like qualified like on education to do that. Like you take enough CE courses and like practice enough. You can't just like wing a molar endo. But like also then there's specializing. Like you can do pediatrics, you can do orthodontics. There's so many things out there. And then even from there, like I plan to be an educator part-time in the future and like teach a dental school. Alex and I are both in a program. All three of us, all three of us in a program where we're taking extra classes on top of our dental school classes so we can educate in the part-time or full-time in the future, and we're getting a certificate or master's. I'm just getting a certificate, they're getting a master's degree as well. But like it really is what you want it to be, which is like one of the good parts about dentistry. But there's a lot of good things about dentistry.
I feel like we keep getting distracted from your least
That like just passed through my mind, but then it left and I forgot. It was like, your least favorite part.
Oh yeah.
least favorite
I talk about the
part.
incompetence.
I feel like this isn't necessarily dental school as much as just dentistry in general. Cancellations. I hate
Oh my gosh.
cancellations. And it's like, okay, a cancellation when I know like that morning they're canceled, it's like, okay, I can deal with that, maybe try to fill the schedule or something, whatever. But when it's like a straight up no-show and you like set up the chair already, you spent like 20 minutes, came into school, set up everything, and then they just like are like, oh, I thought it was next week. And it's like, well, the 13th isn't next week, so. But yeah, I think for me, like, honestly, it's one of the biggest things, and it's not like, obviously, it's not particular just dental school, it's anything that's appointment based, but for me that's kind of been like the thing that is most annoying.
I think the lab work for me. There's just a lot of it, and trying to keep up with lab work as well as like appointments. I feel like it just never ends. And if you mess up one step, you got to start all the way over.
I also feel like once we get out though, you'll appreciate not having to do
that part.
True.
But for the time being.
Yeah, for right now.
Oh, another thing that I like least about dentistry is just how much people don't know about what it takes to be a dentist, and they just really assume that your level of just like medicine, general, and dentistry is just like so low. They don't really get how much time and effort you've put in to be a dentist. And being a female in dentistry, a lot of people will assume that you're a dental hygienist or dental assistant, a nurse, which is great. But like, I'm gonna have a DDS behind my name, and I put in a lot of work to get those letters. And so I think a lot of people discount the amount of work that all students put in to earn those 3 letters.
Yeah, the assumption that you're an assistant or you're going to school to be an assistant or a hygienist, it's so annoying. It's just like,
I remember D1, like some of the girls in our class, like, like you go to school in scrubs, you maybe stop in the grocery store on the way home, like people would be like, oh, you're like a dental hygienist. And I was like, that doesn't happen to me yet.
Exactly.
But it's like, I'd be so mad. Like, I'd be so mad. And it's just like, because
it's always like dental, hygiene.
That's exactly how they
dentist,
say it.
Just dentist.
Doctor.
Well,
dentist.
now it's like, I feel like it's more girls than guys, right?
It is. I mean, it's like
or
almost
close.
50-50.
Yeah. I feel like we're just getting distracted now, but
I think I'm gonna make this 2 parts.
Yeah.
I have a good one here. So, I know there's a lot of people, and you guys might be one of those people, so I'm not gonna like roast it too hard, but like, I feel like a lot of like people will say like dentists aren't doctors, and will be like offended by that. Personally, I'm not offended by that because it's like I still only work 4 days a week, and I still work 32 hours a week, and like I still make good income. So like I get it, but for me, I'm like, it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever, it rolls out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do get like slightly offended, but I mean, I also like chalk it up to like just what's the word? When people don't know better.
Ignorance?
Yes, ignorance. It's just like, it's fine. You're just a little ignorant.
There's so many things in the world that I am so ignorant about.
Exactly.
Like business, anything in business, whoop, like so.
Yeah,
I can't blame them.
I told Peyton I'm getting my MBA this year. I'm doing so much research about business and stuff. Like, ooh, can we talk? I mean, it's not a question. But can we talk about this? So, are you guys? I know Peyton for sure, but do you guys want to like own your own practice in the future?
Ooh.
I actually go back and forth. I'd love to be in private practice, but I'd like to be in a group practice. I think where I can have ownership, but it doesn't all fall on my shoulders. Because like also, I do want to have a family. Like I don't know what that looks like for me. And also, since I also want to educate part time in the future, there's so many things I want to do. I don't know how much I can fully give myself to owning business, but I know I want to be in private practice. So whether that's a group practice model, I don't know how long I want to associate, but I want to be at least a part time owner. I don't know. So I go back and forth every day.
There's time.
Exactly. And I don't know what that looks like in pediatric dentistry specifically either, because I know that a lot of times like moms will have like a group practice like with 4 of them, like they'll like all do different things. So I don't know. I think I have to do more research on what that looks like for me. But I definitely think private practice ownership is my path.
Yeah.
It scares me a little, to be honest. And like I'm grateful for like people like you, Peyton, especially educating us about it not being so scary, and that there are people that literally are starting from the very beginning without any knowledge and sharing their experience every step of the way. I thought that was really cool that you connected us with the Shared Practice podcast. I thought that was awesome. And because of that, I've at least given it some thought, like considered it a bit more than before. I was just absolutely not wanting to do it before. But,
I mean, I'm a newbie to like I always knew that I wanted to open a practice, but I was like, okay, I need to be working for at least like 3-4 years or so before I can even do that, because I need to get my speed up. I need to like learn about business and da. But I'm like a super fan. I'm becoming like a super fan of shared practices. I listen to it almost every single day. I'm still on season 1, but like I've been listening to it every single day. And what I'm realizing is that there's more risk associated, and they say this all the time. There's more risk associated with remaining an associate versus being a business owner, because you're not in control of your destiny. Like say there's another COVID. Who like, do you think the owner's gonna fire themselves?
No.
Yeah.
I'm out.
No, you're gonna be let go, and like you have to ask somebody to take time off. You have to like ask you. I mean, of course, you're in control of your destiny to a certain extent, but you're still under the rule. You're an employee at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And I mean, if you don't want to be dealing with like the ins and outs of business and stuff like that, I mean, maybe business practice ownership isn't for you, but I mean.
It's just tough.
It's a big deal, but I mean, I think if it's something that you
have any desire to do, you should
you should explore it.
And I feel like a lot of recent grads from our school, a lot of them are getting into owning their own practice. It's something I've noticed. Some of the people that I talked to that were working for other people have like plans to open up their practice like within the next few years, which I think is kind of cool too.
Yeah, it is cool. The answer for me is yes. Pretty much like that was definitely kind of a big factor that like got me interested in dentistry, was just the fact that you could, be a health professional and own your own business, like have the control over, what's going on in the office, who's there, how much you're open, how much you can take off. And dentistry is kind of one of the few professions where that's still an option as far as healthcare goes. Because with like being a physician, like most of those have kind of been corporatized and you're in a bigger group for the most part. Like I think I saw a stat that there's maybe only like 20% left that are like like truly private.
Oh wow.
And dentistry is not like anywhere close to that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like being in control of your own destiny. Like I think that's really cool. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm definitely looking forward to after graduation.
Yeah.
Eloquently put.
That leads us right into the last question. What are you looking forward to post grad, like after graduating?
Being an associate.
Yeah.
No,
Forever.
no, okay. I actually do want to like preface something though. Like, just because like I want to do practice ownership, like doesn't mean that I would ever want to like force someone into buying practice right out of school. Like
Yeah.
I feel like some people are like super gung ho. They're like, I need to do this right out of school. Like I'm putting all my self worth on this, and it's like you really can learn a ton from like just working for someone else, like getting some time to like learn things. Whether like, maybe say you work in an associateship, maybe you do some CE courses on like implants or cosmetics or whatever you want to do, and that way when you go into buying your practice, you have a lot more confidence, you have a lot more speed, and additionally you have extra time like to start looking.
Yeah.
Lots of times banks don't like to lend money to new grads, which makes sense. Like they don't really have anything to like base giving their lending off of.
Yeah.
So if you work for a year or two, banks can see, okay, they've been producing this much, they can replicate what the soft is doing. So it really can kind of open up your horizons. So that being said, like I really feel like buying straight out of school isn't the best case situation for 99.5% of people. But I feel like lots of times people wait longer than they need to. Like, I feel like once you're 2 years out of school, you're probably like. So, I guess that he doesn't like practice ownership.
2 years out of school?
It's so funny. I was talking to Dexter about this. Like, you were never prepared for it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't like I have 2 blankets here. To avoid this. But it's like no matter how many we get, you're just never prepared.
Yeah.
Never. So yeah, parenthood. Super great. Love that.
Love that for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so podcasting is telling me one thing, and so I cannot be phased. I still know exactly where I was. So, but yeah, like once you're 2 years out of school, like I feel like you're definitely clinically competent enough to open your own practice and be good. Honestly, I feel like within 6 months to a year, like you're probably pretty confident.
Hello.
He's like, I really don't like this topic.
Yeah. You said 6 months to a year. Probably.
I feel like a year, it's like really where you start kind of like settling in. Because I mean, at school, we see 1 to 2 patients a day. Like we're spending a lot of our time setting up, breaking down, waiting for swipes.
Yeah.
Once you're in practice, all that stuff is done for you. Like you're not waiting for swipes. You just walk into the room, do the procedure, and then leave. Like it offers a lot more reps for you to learn quickly.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people in school kind of are like concerned about not getting a lot of experience, which I get. But I feel like you take all of us at all the different dental schools, and then 6 months to a year out of school, all at the same playing field.
Yeah.
So it might be a little more
That's
uncomfortable initially, but I really feel like once you get out, like you learn pretty quick. But as I said, private practice for me is going to be, and practice ownership is going to be what I'm most excited about.
Yeah. I'm excited about making money.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
I mean, I want to open my own practice or like buy a practice or whatever pretty soon after I graduate. Not like straight out, but like maybe I'll start looking at like around maybe 8 months, 9 months out. I'll start looking and like putting my feelers out.
Yeah.
But I'm so tired of living off of government loans.
Yeah.
And borrowed money.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to like get it because I was talking to my D4 who just graduated in May, and I was like, "How's it going?" She's like, "Kristen, I got my first paycheck, and it made it all worth it. All 4 years. Texas A&M College of Dentistry.
Yes.
It made it all worth it. Like I'm so happy. I mean, the patients, I'm excited about that too, but I'm excited about making money first and foremost. First and foremost."
Honestly, I'm just excited for a better like work-life balance, especially with my family. I feel like my husband has made such a big sacrifice with me being in school. I just look forward to spending more time with family.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for residency, which is like, I guess not technically post-grad, but I've said ever since I've kind of decided to do pediatric dentistry, I've like really fallen in love with it. I'm excited to be immersed in that, like in a hospital-based situation and like learning, like treating kids like with syndromes I've only read about in textbooks, and like learning so much in those 2 years about something I'm like really interested in learning about, and like not having to worry about like the other classes I'm just like super not into. But then after that, yeah, definitely money. I'm pumped for that.
That's good.
Maybe it was just going for too long and thought you were just like not
How long? You know how?
Sleep.
What?
Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yay.
It's just so
much
fun. It's like, while we obviously talk about dental school all the time, it was fun to like talk about it like this setting and like
I know.
more just like relax. I don't know, instead of like griping, be like, this sucks today. It's like, what did we like about the last 4 years? What did we not like? I don't know. This is fun to like chat about.
Yeah, like on your holiday weekend away from dental school, here we are talking
Yeah.
about
Oh, it's tacos though, so it can't be bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah.
Actually. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave it in the comments below. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.